This is the Pallas's cat, a small wild cat that looks perpetually furious, went viral on social media, and turned out to be one of the most scientifically fascinating animals on Earth. Here's everything weird, surprising, and genuinely strange about it. Start with the name. Otocolobus manuel is the scientific designation, and otocolobus comes from ancient Greek words meaning stumpy-eared, or more bluntly, ugly-eared. Scientists looked at this animal and named it ugly ears in a dead language, which is honestly kind of accurate and also tells you everything about how these cats landed when they were first described. A Prussian naturalist named Peter Simon Pallas formally described the species in 1776 after encountering it during a Russian Siberian expedition, and he immediately made a mistake about it. Pallas believed this animal might be the wild ancestor of the Persian cat, based on the same stocky build, the same long fur, the same pushed-in face. He was completely wrong, but you can see where the logic went. Physically, a Pallas's cat weighs between 2.5 and 5 kilograms, putting it squarely in domestic cat territory. Nothing about its appearance suggests this, because it carries the densest fur of any cat species on Earth, roughly 9,000 hairs per square centimeter, with individual guard hairs reaching 7 centimeters in length. The coat creates an optical illusion of twice the actual body mass, which means most people's first instinct about how big this animal is will be wrong. And then there are the eyes, which are where things get genuinely strange. Nearly every small wild cat on Earth has vertical slit pupils. The Pallas's cat has round, circular pupils, like a human's, and it stands as one of the only small wild cats in the world with this trait. Combined with its flat skull and ears that sit low on the sides of the head rather than on top, the resulting facial expression is one the internet has collectively agreed looks like permanent, seething fury. Across a vast stretch of Central Asia, from the Caspian Sea east through Mongolia and into China, the Pallas's cat occupies rocky grasslands and mountain slopes where temperatures swing from -50 degrees Celsius in winter to over 32 degrees in summer, a range of roughly 80 degrees across a single year. They've been documented at altitudes above 5,000 meters, which puts them above most human settlements in the Himalayas, and they manage all of this while requiring that snow cover stay shallow, because deep snow is something their bodies simply cannot handle efficiently. The hunting strategy matches the expression perfectly. Pallas's cats are not fast animals, and their compact, stocky bodies make chasing prey a losing proposition, so they don't chase anything. Instead, they creep, lie flat, and wait, using a behavior researchers call periscoping, where the cat repeatedly raises its head just above cover to track prey before committing to a pounce. Those low-set ears, which seem like a strange design choice, stop giving away the cat's position when it lies flat in cover, and the camouflage coloring does the rest. Pikas make up more than half the diet, small rabbit-like mammals sharing the same rocky terrain, and a single adult can consume up to 5 pikas, voles, and mice in a day. Home ranges stretch between 3.5 and 7 square miles per individual. These cats live entirely alone, and they do not meow. Yelping, growling, honking, chirping are all documented vocalizations, and newborn kittens growl before their eyes open. One behavior that went viral and introduced many people to the species for the first time. Pallas's cats sit directly on their tails to keep their paws off frozen ground. A video of this circulated widely in 2022, most people's first glimpse of an animal that had been living in the mountains of Central Asia for millions of years. After the AZA species survival plan designated the Pallas's cat a priority breeding species in 1984, zoos across North America and Europe began setting up captive programs, and the kittens started dying at a rate nobody had prepared for. North American facilities documented kitten mortality between 35 and 60%. At Schönbrunn Zoo in Vienna, one breeding pair produced 24 kittens over 4 years, and 58% of them died between weeks 2 and 14. A broader European survey of first-year kitten mortality found an overall rate approaching 72% from all causes, with toxoplasmosis confirmed in over 20% of post-mortem examinations. The culprit was Toxoplasma gondii, a common parasite that domestic cats carry frequently and manage without much trouble, but one that Pallas's cat kittens could not survive. The reason turned out to be one of the stranger findings in modern conservation biology. Researchers tested wild Pallas's cats in Mongolia and found that 87% of them had never been exposed to T. gondii at all. The parasite essentially doesn't circulate in their native habitat, prey species don't carry it, and the environment stays clean, which meant thousands of years of evolution produced an animal with zero immunity to something that exists everywhere outside its home range. When captive kittens arrived in zoos surrounded by domestic animals, they had nothing to fight the parasite with. A breakthrough came when researchers introduced antibiotic prophylaxis using clindamycin, and 2 European zoos that had previously experienced 100% kitten mortality watched that figure drop below 6% over a 2-year study period. The captive program survived, but the second twist landed hard. Captive-bred Pallas's cats cannot be released into the wild. Carrying T. gondii now, releasing them would push the parasite into wild populations with no immunity whatsoever, and the thing that was killing captive kittens would start killing wild ones too. The captive program continues for education, research, and genomic preservation, but as a closed loop with no exit back to the wild. Globally, the IUCN lists the Pallas's cat as least concern, but the country-level picture tells a different story entirely. China lists it as endangered. Turkmenistan has proposed critically endangered status. Mongolia places it at near threatened. Armenia and Azerbaijan consider it locally extinct. The global estimate of roughly 58,000 mature individuals comes from extrapolating limited density data across a massive range, not from direct counts, and for an animal this solitary and this elusive across this much terrain, that number carries real uncertainty. The biggest threat to the species is not hunting or habitat loss, but rodent poison. Government and agricultural programs across Central Asia poison pikas and voles to protect pastureland. Pallas's cats eat those pikas, and the secondary poisoning effect runs through the food chain into an animal nobody was targeting. Mongolia, which likely holds the largest wild populations anywhere, remains the only range country where Pallas's cats can be legally hunted year-round, with trophy export licenses available, a policy that conservation organizations argue directly contradicts the species' declining numbers. The Pallas's Cat International Conservation Alliance, known as Pika, was founded in March 2016 by the Royal Zoological Society of Scotland, Nordens Ark Zoo in Sweden, and the Snow Leopard Trust, and it became the first project dedicated solely to global Pallas's cat conservation. International Pallas's Cat Day falls on April 23rd each year. The Pallas's cat looks angry, sounds nothing like a cat, carries a name that translates to ugly ears in ancient Greek, and was initially mistaken by the scientist who described it for a Persian cat ancestor. Its kittens are killed by a parasite that doesn't even exist in their home range. Captive breeding works, but the animals can never go back to the wild, and despite a global least concern classification, multiple countries where it actually lives consider it endangered. Internet fame arrived because it looked grumpy in videos, but the actual story of this animal runs far stranger and far more urgent than any meme suggests. The grumpiest cat on the internet turns out to be one of the most scientifically complex small predators on Earth, and one of the least understood.